Welcome tech lovers, Ibrar here. Today we will see self-hosted GitLab deployment using Docker Compose. In this video we will learn Docker Compose best practices to run GitLab application stack. Devops in Action channel is more focused on DevOps in easy way. You always found complexity in simplicity here. Each video guide is available in video's description. Here will be only action as channel name is Devops in Action. So let's jump to the lab without any delay. On YouTube, you can find out the GitHub link. Open the repository GitLab Docker Compose series. And here in day 01 you can see here I added just some information related to GitLab CE community edition. Here we are going to deploy GitLab CE as well as runner. Yes, I will add more videos on it. That's the reason I created like this GitLab Docker Compose series. In prerequisite there is not a major prerequisite, just Linux server and Docker Compose installed. And if you are using production environment or based on your requirement, let's say if you have multiple repos 100 plus, then you must have 500 GB SSD for better performance. If not available, then SSD is okay. And if you are deploying for your office or organizations, then maybe a static IP required based on your requirement. In many corporate office, they using their personal internal DNS server, so that's the reason they deploy for their internal usage only. But if you want to keep it available for all your organization and you want to host it on cloud, then you can do as well, and you can restrict with the security group of let's say in AWS or using the firewall. Right, there are a lot of things available. So let's see setup one by one. Here I want to deploy my GitLab CE on this path. That's the reason I'm exporting it, and after that creating the storage and giving the 777 permission. Why 777 permission? This is the root directory where we want to keep all file, and we are providing the 777 permission based on the Docker execution itself. Docker provide their files and folders based on their requirement. They itself set the permission, let's say 644, 664, 775. We will see in the logs as well. Okay, so let's open the terminal and enter the same thing. Let's check the okay. Now create the env file. So I'm just doing the same thing without explaining, because during the GitLab installation it takes time. So after doing these steps, I'm going to explain each and everything. Right, let's say docker compose up -d. Now it takes time to run the container. Okay, you can see here it's started setup. So let's see what it is. I set the storage path to my SSD 2 TB, and there is one folder, and there is the GitLab. GitLab host is GitLab CE. We already going to follow best practices, so there is no hard coded anything here except the description. Okay, you can put the description as well in the .env file, right? So I added the host as GitLab CE and GitLab host URL as gitlab.devopsinjection.lab, and root password is this one, GitLab CE version. So as of now the latest one is this one. Okay, so I always recommend do not use latest tag in any production environment. I repeat, do not use latest tag in any production environment. So how you get this repo? Type docker hub, and once you go there and find out the GitLab version. Okay, so let's say I'm going to find out this version. This is the GitLab CE, and in tag there are multiple types of tags. You can see here latest, and it built 11 days ago, 11 days ago, 11 days ago. So 18.3.5 is 11 days ago. Okay, 18.5.0 which is 16 days ago, right? So I'm using 18.5.1. Why we need to be stick with specific version? Because in GitLab CE there are multiple types of configuration, even including the database Postgres. So when you use latest, maybe in some time you accidentally upgrade to latest version and unfortunately you lost your all repository. Always stick with the any version and define here instead of latest. One more thing here, you can define GitLab HTTP port, HTTPS port, SSH port. Why we need to define this one? Consider you have a dedicated GitLab server. In that case you can put HTTP port as 80, HTTPS port as 443, and SSH port is 22. But let's say consider if you have multiple services running on your instance, in that case you need to provide a specific port. Again here you can see I'm mapping these ports here, GitLab HTTP to a 80, 443, 22. I'm already mapping here, and GitLab runner version is, you can see I used the specific one, and this is the custom DNS. If you have, you can use it. So I added this one considering best practices. Okay, let's understand that Docker compose file. Here is the name and GitLab CE version, restart always, container name host, GitLab URL, and this is the URL, and this is the password which we mentioned here. And one more thing here I want to add for you, for my viewers, do not add here multiple things. Let's say SSL or Puma workers, there are a lot of things. So do not add here, do not add here. Why? It's already provide the configuration inside the this path. Why you want to add here? And let's say why I'm saying that you do not add here, because in future version they are deprecating GitLab is deprecating and even adding some features. In that features or that deprecation, they are doing this kind of scenario. They deprecated the variables, they deprecated the they added the new variables, so do not add here except these two. Okay, and we mentioned the port here, and there is a volume. Again, here you can see I added volume, this kind of scenario. If volume storage variable persist, in that case this is going to store here, otherwise it is going to store here and in this path, and after that create the GitLab directory, and after that the config, and it map inside the GitLab, it map inside the verilog opt GitLab. Okay, so my path will be docker volume GitLab config, this kind of scenario will be. So let's see in terminal. Okay, so go there. Now you can see here one GitLab directory is created, right? So let's show you here. In the GitLab there is config directory, ls GitLab config, and you can see here GitLab RB file is here. You can configure it and restart the Docker container. And if you have internal DNS or external DNS you want to define, you can add it here. And network, I added the existing GitLab host URL which I defined here. You can add some labels here. And yes, if you are deploying GitLab without runner, it is incomplete, because runner is required to do CI/CD related task, right? So I always prefer, you must not deploy this GitLab runner on the same server. This is the best practices, because when you run GitLab runner on the same server, during the build, let's say if you are doing some Java build, Node build, Angular build, and based on the code size and based on the command, it will use huge amount of memory and CPU. In that case, maybe you face slowness or any disruption in GitLab process. So I always recommend that you must deploy GitLab runner on the another server in the same lane. Let's say if you are using cloud like AWS, create the another one, or if you have another one, then you can deploy there. And it must be in line. Why it must be in line? Because during the git pull, during the build, CI/CD build, it will pull the repo through the lane and it will be faster. And here in the runner, GitLab runner, again runner version I used, and always GitLab runner container name, here I defined the static, and network mode is I used host. So here I not use network mode host, but I used network mode host here because it is not going to deploy on the same network. As of now I am deploying, but I always recommend do not add it on the same machine, because this is the demo purpose, but I am considering the best practices, so I am telling you. Okay, so here I added two volumes. One is the Docker. So if you are going to use Docker in Docker, or if you are going to use build with any Docker containers, in that case it will be helpful. And this is the GitLab runner path. Again, you can use custom DNS, some labels and networks, right? We see Docker Compose already running here, and it is printing two kind of services. What is the services here? This is the GitLab and this is the runner. There are two services with the name of GitLab CE, which I defined container name here, and its container name is GitLab runner, right? GitLab CE, GitLab runner is running, and we following this log. One more thing here I want to add: follow this link, official link always, and there will be you find out many things based on your requirement. Okay, this is the installation under the Docker, and you can find out the all details here. And always find out this kind of things, always follow the official documentation. You can see here all the things is available here, and configuration related things available here you can do, right? So again, let's back to the same place. Okay, so let me interrupt this one, and I want to use command service specific log. Let's say this is the GitLab and it is running, and let's check the GitLab's runner. So when you see the runner, there is multiple errors continuously printing because there is no config.toml file available. Why it's not available? Because we not registered any runner, so no worries about that. And you can check GitLab services status. Here you can see all those services running fine, and you can see its PID as well. If you want to check the logs of any services, let's say alert manager, GitLab provide exporter, Postgres exporter, GitLab exporter. If you are using Grafana, in that case you can configure this and you can use Grafana. GitLab dashboard in Grafana, there is many dashboard open source available. Okay, I'm just showing you one logs here for an example. This is the Puma logs. Similar, you can check any logs. One more thing here, you can check that your service is ready or not. Yes, you can see your service is ready, and I find out with the container name GitLab CE, right? So I want to access it. How we can do? For that, I deployed it in on my server 1.100. So let's start it 1.100, and on the same server I deployed on my Proxmox. That's the reason it's showing Proxmox. Okay, so here you can see I used port 8081 for HTTP. Once you go there, default password, default user is root, and password we already defined here. Here just do the login. Once the login done, you can see here it's showing check up your restriction. Okay, so let's go to the same place. Yes, through the IP, it's not good way to access it, and everyone wants to remember. So maybe you forget IP sometime ports. In that case, you can do one thing, you can add some DNS entry, right? So let me open my notepad. Okay, you can see here I added one entry here. and I am sending this GitLab Devops injection.lab to my this host. Again, you can see it's sending request, but I'm not able to open the GitLab. Why? Because we need to put the port as well here, 8081. It's going on the HTTPS redirected, so not required. Yes, now you can see I'm able to open the GitLab here. Okay, so copy again the password and paste it here. And before logging, let me show you something. I want to log out here, and you can see here the registration form is open, so you can register your new user. Let's say Harry Potter, and username is Harry. Email you can add harry@example.com. Password, I am going to put the same password here, which is root password. I am showing you demo, that's the reason I'm added the same password, but do not add same password. You can see here you have signed up successfully, however you could not sign because you are waiting approval from your GitLab administrator. So once you go in the admin and in the user, you can see here it's pending for approval. Just approve it. This is the features of this GitLab, but do not use it because anyone can add user, so always deactivate this sign up restriction. So from the setting in the general, go in the admin, and in admin setting in the general you can see here sign up restriction. Just disable it and save it. Okay, so we are here, we have done till here. And one more thing here I want to explain. If you want to use DNS server, so my one video is available how to deploy Pi-hole DNS server in your environment, and this is the very good things, so you can use it for your DNS related things. I'm using the Pi-hole here. I deployed and I am already using. I will show you soon here. Okay, so we disable the restriction, and I'm able to access directly through the IP, let's say through the domain name and port. This is the URL as of now, because I added one entry here to tell the service, internal service, to go on 1.100 and 8081, right? You can retrieve password if you not defined this variable in here, then you can retrieve password using this command, but in our case we cannot get the password. Okay, now I want to set the proxy and to access these things. Okay, so I added proxy doc npm 020 series here. This is the complete proxy video. Nginx proxy manager 020 series, I added all those things. You must watch this one as well. Okay, and one more thing, you must change your root password after the login and disable sign up restriction, and additional resources I already added there. Okay, so let's understand the actual requirement of our GitLab and its DNS. So as of now I am doing this kind of scenario, but that is not a good practices. So when I comment it and save it, what happened here, when I refresh, it's taking from the cache obviously, but when I add again, maybe need to close the tab or need to open incognito. Here you can see I'm not able to access because in the same tab it's taking from the cache, I think. Yes. Okay, so for that what we can do, we can add host entry, or you can say DNS entry. So first of all, go in the local DNS if you are using DNS entry and add your domain name here. So I am telling my domain to go where? So I am telling my domain to go on the my Nginx proxy manager. Here is the my Nginx proxy manager. You can see here IP address is 102. So I am telling this URL to go here. Okay, so let's add it here, and in my system I am using the DNS. Okay, so let me show you as well. Here you can see my primary DNS server is 1.101, which is this one. So in my PC I configured my primary DNS server as this one. Okay, so once we ping here, or we can open this link again, it is going to land on the Nginx proxy manager. But what happened here, in Nginx proxy manager I added a default rule, right? 404 host default rule I added here, and it is preventing something went wrong. You entered either wrong domain name or your domain name is not added to this server. Please contact administrator. So let's add here as well, add a proxy, and our domain name is this one. Okay, add it, and my actual IP is 192.168.1.100 and port is 8081, I think. Yes, port is 8081. So add here. So I tell my DNS to go directly 102 on the hit of this domain under the DNS, you can see here, and on 102 my npm server is running. So I am telling my npm server, if this domain comes, go on the 1.100 and 808 port. Okay, and save it. Once it done, and now you can refresh this page, and you can see here this is working with the name of actual domain name without IP address anywhere defined. You can see here I commented here, and it's going through the DNS resolving my Nginx proxy manager, and Nginx proxy manager sending this to the actual IP. And I added this domain name in the configuration of env. You can see here this is the host URL header. So my external URL is perfect. Again, note down, this is the HTTP as of now, so I added HTTP here. Okay, we can put it as HTTPS. For that we need to define the SSL. I will cover in the upcoming session. Okay, so let's log in the GitLab, and you can see here it is working fine, and yeah, you can use it. Okay, I think for this session that is enough, and let me know what you guys think, and if you have any question, leave a comment. Thank you very much. Have a nice day ahead. See you in the next video.